everyone, welcome to another video of Alpha PTE. I'm Fatima from Alpha PTE, and I'm going to continue today about the verb tenses. And in our last grammar video, we did discuss about the present tense of the verb. Now today I'm going to discuss about the past tense. So just to brush up, what is a verb tense? Can somebody think what is a verb tense in simple tense? Like, why do we use, when you hear the word verb tense, what do you mean by that? So in simple form, verb tense is anything that shows if an action took place, when did that happen? Did it happen today, yesterday, or is it going to happen tomorrow? So verb tenses show you when that took place, or for how long that action was taking place, and is it going to occur in the future, or is it already done, or is it happening at the moment? So it basically explains about the action in detail. So when something happened, for how long something happened, or if something is going to happen in the future. Okay, like it gives a little bit of additional information, like the length of the action, uh if there's more than one thing which is happening. For example, I am cooking and cleaning, so what happened first and what happened second? Okay, so if there is more than one action, what is the extra detail about that particular action? Like, which action happened first, or is it a past one, or is it a present one, or is it a future one, or stuff like that? Okay, and which has more impact. And in this way, the tenses, the verb tenses, be it present or past, they're divided into simple or simple tense, or perfect tense, or continuous tense, or perfect continuous tense. So it's divided in these four things: simple, perfect, continuous, and perfect continuous. All right. So without more delay, let's go to verb tenses. Like, we've already know that there are three verb tenses: present, past, and future. Last time we discussed about the present tense. Today we are going to discuss about the past tense. So let's go to alfa-PTE.com grammar. And we have already done the grammar rules for WH words, articles, nouns, and pronouns, adverbs, adjectives, verb tenses, present tense. Now we'll be doing verb tense, past tense. Okay? Like I've already said, verb tenses have three tenses: past, present, and future. The past describe things that have already happened. Okay? So past tense describe things that have already been done. Okay, so present tense describes anything that is happening or in progress, or past tense describe anything that has happened earlier, today, yesterday, a year ago, and 3 years ago, and stuff like that. Okay, anything that happened in the past. And future is something that has not yet happened. So let's go to past tense. In general, when do we use past tense? In general, we use past tense to show something that happened in the past. Okay, depending on the type of past tense we use, we can indicate the condition of the action. For example, whether it is simple past, or past perfect, or past continuous, or past perfect continuous. Now, what is simple past? Simple past is simply to show actions that happened in the past, simply, with no extra emphasis. Okay, we are not stressing anything there, or just by adding a simple ed at the end. I completed my assignment, I made my breakfast, I cleared my room, I picked my parcel. So simple things without much emphasis. Okay, so simple past is a verb form used to talk about things that happened or existed before. Imagine someone asking you what you were doing last night. Simple past. The simple past indicates that you are talking about something that has already happened. How do you make it simple past? For regular verbs, add ed to the root form of verb, or just d if there's already an ed. For example, make made. Type, typed. Listen, listened. Push, pushed. Love, loved. These are simple things, simple past tense. Okay. I completed my um, assignment, okay, last night. Then I went to the doctor in the morning. I picked the parcel on the way. Okay, so simple things without much emphasis, just by adding ed or d makes a simple past tense, just to show something that happened in the past. Now, what is past perfect? Past perfect is used to talk about something that happened before something else. For example, two actions are taken place. First, I am going to cook the dinner, and then I'm going to eat it. So two actions that took place, and then I have to describe the first action. So that's how I use past perfect. What is the difference between past perfect and simple past? If you're talking about the time in the past and want to refer to an event that happened earlier, you can use past perfect. Okay, so it makes things clearer, like this happened first and that happened second. Most often, or mostly, the reason for writing a verb in past tense is to show that this already took place. Okay, or now the formula for past perfect tense is had plus the past participle, like ed. It doesn't matter if the subject is singular or plural, the formula will not change. Okay, don't use past perfect if you are not trying to show a sequence of the events. You don't need to use it. For example, after, for like I said, I first cooked and then I ate it. After I had cooked my dinner, I sat and ate it. All right. After Mary had finished her work, she went to lunch. Or I washed the floor when the gardener had gone. So first the gardener went, then I washed the floor. So this shows the sequence of events that happen. All right. Then it's also known as pluperfect. From what I know, yes, I think to show that one action happened before another action. Yes. Uh, she had arrived at the airport uh, before the flight took off. She had arrived before the flight took off. Okay. So first she came, then the flight took off. Or maybe, but still she couldn't get on the plane or something like that. So just to show more examples, Harry had known about it for a while. Or I didn't say until anything until he had finished talking. After she had moved out, I found her note. So these are pretty much very simple examples of the situations where we use past perfect. So to put it simply, past perfect is to show the sequence of events that took place. If there is an action that took place, which action took place first and which one took place next. Moving on to the third one is past continuous. Past, also known as the past continuous. It's used to describe action in the past, but it is indicating that it is a continuing action. Although it started in the past, but it was a continuous thing. It was ongoing for a while. Okay, so the present continuous and the past continuous sometimes are quite similar, but the use of past continuous uh, is the past tense, is in the past tense. Okay, the formula is a little different. The past continuous formula involves to be, was or were. To be, was or were, and the present participle of the form, the ing form. Okay, so it was snowing yesterday. It was, so it was a continuous thing. It was snowing yesterday, last week, yesterday. Uh, my son was crying in his sleep last night. So it was a continuous action, but it was last night. So it was past, but continuous. Then, to put it simply, it is an action to show that something was happening and was interrupted by another action. For example, something which is habitual that occurred in the past, but it's not happening in the future. Like, most of the time, it's used with adverbs. Most of the time, it's used with adverbs like all the time, sometime, this and that. For example, uh, and then you can use it with was or were. Like I was saying, it was snowing, he was crying, but it is, if it's plural, then they become were. They were eating, and my friends were eating at the restaurant. Okay. uh mm, Me and my cousins were always getting into trouble. All right. Then I was studying last night. So basically, these are simple examples of past continuous, just to show some action that happened in the past, but it continued for a while. Okay. So that's when you use past continuous. The only thing that you have to simply remember is the formula. What is the formula? The subject, was or were, and ing, verb plus ing. Last but not the least, past perfect continuous. Past perfect continuous shows that an action that began in the past continued at another time in the past. For example, um, it is sometimes used just like past perfect tense, but it describes the ongoing action that happened in the past instead of a one-time thing. It's the last thing was like a one-time thing. My son was crying all night last night, crying in his sleep last night. That was a one-time thing, but this is like an ongoing thing, an occurrence. Okay, so a lot of times we use it with the words like until, or when, or before. We use these words when we describe this action, when we connect this continuous thing. For example, uh, before he cleared his exam, he had been busy taking care of his parents. Or before, until he decided on a few on his. So it also, we also use it with until. Like for until, we can say I had been living with my parents until they moved to a retirement home. Okay, so the formula is the subject had been, then verb plus ing. To show something as past perfect continuous, you have to put subject, had been, doing something, going somewhere, over plus ing. Okay. She had or had been. She had been, because we are talking about the past. If it was about present perfect, has or have will come. But this is past perfect, so it will be had all the time. She had been living in poverty until she wrote her first book. Okay. So then see what past perfect continuous tends to show that an action that began in the past continued at another time in the past, unlike the present perfect continuous, which indicates action that began in the past and continued in the present. The past perfect continuous is a verb form that indicates something that started in the past, blah, blah, blah. Then it ended at some point in the past only, that action. For example, I had been working in the office for 6 years when I got the promotion. I already have the promotion, so that working in 6 years is finished. I had been writing articles on various topics for 6 hours. Then I can continue before I decided to go out and get some break. All right. She had been reading different kinds of books since morning, and then I continue. All right. So this had been verb plus ing. Subject had been verb plus ing. So when you see how do you use them in your blanks, if you see subject dash been verb plus ing and you see the content, that the action ended in the past, then it has to be had. But if you see that the action is continuing in the present, then it will be has or have. That is the difference between past perfect continuous and present perfect continuous that you put to use when you do your fill in the blanks. Next, after had been or has been or have been, always have verb plus ing. So you eliminate the other options. So these simple grammar rules help you understand help you solve your fill in the blanks in a in an easier way. Okay, so that's about today's grammar session, guys. I'm keeping it very short and very simple, trying to give simple examples so that my purpose is not to make you a grammar guru. My purpose is to help you use these simple rules to solve your blanks easily. All right. So if you have a blank which was I dash studying last night, then you know it is either was or were. If the action is something which is past and continuous, if it's past continuous, simple, was or were. And then even after that, it was always verb plus ing. If it is past simple, then ed forms. All right. So this makes you understand your fill in the blanks that are given to you in a very easier way and help you solve them, help you get your score easily if you know the simple grammar rules. All good, guys. So that's about today's video. If you have any doubts or queries, you can join our Telegram group and we'll be happy to help you. If you like our videos, please do not forget to like, share, and subscribe. I'll see you again in the last grammar video, which I'm going to talk about the future tense. And probably I'll make another video just for collocations, and then we'll wrap up with the grammar and then we'll move on to our other videos. All good, guys. Until the next video, take care. All the best. Bye.